This is the 300th Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud, and it appears in Tractate Temurah, page 11b, Yud Aleph Amud Beis. Now, what's very interesting is that we're coming closer to this bifurcation, I guess you might call it. And this bifurcation is due to a slight error in counting from my detection and from the detection of others on the part of the author. I would love to speak with the author about this. If he sees this, I'd love to talk about it. But according to the book of Taiku, it shows that there are 3 Taikus on 11b, but in reality there are actually only 2. And this problem gets corrected very quickly because he puts 2 Taikus on 22b when in fact there are 3. I think it seems to be, unless there's something else that I'm not aware of, unless there's some kind of alternate girsa, meaning an alternate text or an alternate version of the Talmud that puts this on a different page. That's why I asked somebody what those little letters mean, and they pointed me to the Hagos, whatever, the Ner Mitzvah, whatever it is. It's not, the Hagos, Hagra, or someone doing some editing to the text or mentioning an alternate girsa, an alternate version that had one Taiku that was on 22 that's really back, or something like that. Or there's another Taiku that's counted. But according to from what it seems, from this the Pashtus, meaning just the plain seeing of it, 11b only has 2 Taikus, but in the Taiku book it said there's 3. So I want to honor the text because of my numerological my numerological studies, and my studies of I call it math. Some people may not call it math, but it is a study of numbers for themselves, which means that if the book made a mistake, here's an example of why I say this, because we all make mistakes. To err is human, and nobody's perfect. And so if there is a mistake, and this can go into different cases, like when they say there's a mistake, let's just say there's errors in the New Testament, let's say. People say there's errors in the New Testament. Let's just say there are. Could it be that it was meant to be? This is my question. Could it be that it was meant to be an error? If it's a mistake, you don't think God saw that? God allowed the mistake to happen for a greater purpose. I'm very interested in these types of things. I want to find out, number one, why there's a mistake, because, when you always hear that little voice in your head, and sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, but so once in a while we do, and the voice says, don't do this, it's wrong, do it the other way. And then you realize in the end it was right when you heard that. But it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes there is not that voice, and God just lets it go, and the mistake happens. But that mistake happens for a purpose. So I want to think that it's not just a simple mistake. It's a very deep mistake. And this can be corroborated, this can be verified by the gematria of the word ta'ut. Ta'ut, as it means a mistake, which is spelled Tet, Ayin, Vav, Taf. Tet, Ayin, Vav, Taf. That equals 485. Taf is 400, Tet, Vav is 15, Ayin is 70. 70, 15 is 85, plus 400 is 45. And in fact, 2 words have the numerical value of 45, which is Min HaShemayim or Hakol Mishamayim. Min HaShemayim means it's from heaven, meaning it came from God's permission to have this mistake. Or Hakol Mishamayim, meaning everything is from heaven. those two equal also, not plus each other, each individual term, but they both equal 45, which is because Hakol Mishamayim, Hakol is 55, and then Mem is 40. It's the same like Min is 90, and then 95. So it's 95. This is the way you break it up. So Shemayim, Hakol Mishamayim, or Min Hashemayim. Anyway, that being said, I want to think that these Taikus, the fact that there's 2 when really it was listed 3, and there are 3 where really it was listed 2, and the page numbers that it happens on, it was what makes it the most interesting, because it has to do with Rebbetzin Chaim Lushka Schneerson, out of all people, and the mystical, spiritual dimension of 11 and 22, which Rabbi Wolf spoke about. Rabbi Reuven Wolf had a big shir about the Lubavitcher Rebbe's talk on his late wife at his time. His wife passed away about 6 years before he passed away. And so he, in one of his talks, one of his sichas, he had talked about the number 11 and 22, because she passed away on the 11th, in the 11th month, the 22nd day. It was the 22nd of Shvat. Shvat is the 11th month, and 22 is the 22nd day. Anyway, so that's where this mix-up happens. It happens in Temurah 11, and remember, numbers are important. So if it happened, if this could have happened, like theoretically, in any daf of the whole Shas, right? But it happened on 11 and 22. So that's just something I wanted to point out. So without further ado, I'll go into the 300th Taiku of the Babylonian Talmud, which occurs according to the book by Rabbi Aharon Yeshua Pessin. It occurs in Tractate Temurah 11b. Now, this is a Kuli Alma that everyone holds that this is the 300th. It's only the next one, in 300, first one, is the 301st, and it's going to be the 302nd. And then what we'll have to, and the way to reconcile that is that when we get to the next Taiku, we'll have to do 2 Taikus as one. So we see right now, because it's not in reality, we did 1 Taiku and we gave it the value of 2. So what we're going to have to do is, when we get to 22b, there'll be 2 Taikus, and we'll get the value as 1. And so that will all be equal by 34 will be all equal. I'm sorry. By 303. By 304 will be equal, which is interesting because this whole skerfuffle, I don't know what to call it, is happening on Rosh Chodesh Iyar, which is a very messianic month. Iyar is like the month of the donkey. It's a highly messianic, and messianic things go with counting. And Iyar is the only month that every single day of that month is counted. Now the Omer goes a little bit at the end of Nisan, from after Pesach, like half of Nisan, let's say, and very little bit of Sivan, but both of those, it's not the whole month. It's only Iyar that the whole month is counting. And my Mashiach studies are basically all about counting. So with that, this is the 11th, this is the 300th Taiku, the Babylonian Talmud in Temurah 11b, with the words Boi Rava. Boi Rava, be'oif mahu, beheimo marachmono, be'holav beheimo hi, oi dilma korban, according to Rabbi Yossi, if one consecrates one limb of an animal, the sanctity extends to the entire animal. Rava raises a dilemma. Not an Bachanadukti dilemma, but just a dilemma. That was the first one. Rava raises a dilemma. With regard to a bird that is fit for sacrifice, what is the halacha according to this opinion? Since this halacha is derived, as stated from the verse, and if it is an animal, of those that they bring as an offering to the Lord, anything of it that one gives to the Lord, it shall be sacred. Leviticus 27, verse 9. One can contend that the merciful one states animal, and this bird is not considered an animal. Or perhaps one should stress that the merciful one states offering, and this bird is also considered an offering. The Gemara concludes Taiku. The dilemma shall stand unresolved until the coming of the Messiah, the son of David and the son of Joseph, Elijah the prophet, will answer the question. That's what the tradition says. So I want to get this again. With regard to a bird that is fit for sacrifice, what is the halacha according to the opinion? Since the halacha is derived, a bird, okay. Oh, okay. According to Yosef, when consecrates one limb of an animal, okay. So Rava wants to know if you consecrate the one limb of a bird that's fit for sacrifice, does it extend to the whole bird? That's what we want to know. And the two sides are, if an animal of those that bring an offering to the Lord, anything that gives one to the Lord, it shall be sacred. That's okay, but you can say that it doesn't, animal's not a bird, but at the same time it's an offering. So is it do you go from the fact that it's an offering, or do you go from the fact that it's not an animal? It is an offering, it's not an animal. Which one is it? So that is the 300th Taiku that will be resolved, God willing, when the Messiah comes. When the Messiah comes. Anybody ready for that? Mashiach ben David? Anybody? Mashiach ben David? No? Well, I hope that we'll all merit to see the coming of the true Mashiach. Himheira b'yameinu. Himheira. Meheira is 250, which is this year, summer, America turns 250. 1776 to 2026.